Hello, everyone. We, and by we, I mean I, Tectonic Improv, have gathered with my wonderful Australian co-host, Discount Gumshoe.
Noted fan of indie games, Discount Gumshoe.
And this is
Noted
something...
fan of Phil Fish and Jonathan Blow. Love them both.
Don't blow your load too soon.
Okay, sorry. I'm edging already. I spent the whole afternoon playing Star Fox, one of my favorite games, playing it with a great friend of mine in a good mood, and now we're going to watch a movie that I hate about people I don't like.
Exactly.
I'll keep a lid on it. I'm sure it'll be fun.
This is something we've been talking about doing for a really long time, or it's just just something that's like come up, I think, over the years, because Indie Game the movie is a indie film about three indie game developers, released in, I believe, 2012. I want to say maybe 2011.
Very much,
or at the very least, it was filmed in like 2010, 2011. And this thing was kind of a big deal at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It followed three pretty well-known names in the Western indie dev scene, and then at the time, indie games were not how they were nowadays.
Yeah,
where like breaking
absolutely.
into that scene was a lot harder, and there were just way less of them back then.
And getting your stuff sold and into people's hands was way harder. Like, Steam barely had something to handle this, and the Xbox, I think 360 might have had like a community market space, and same with Wii. But
this comes up in the documentary, if I recall correctly. This is like a big thing for Jonathan Blow and McMillan. A certain other character in this film is the only one.
The protagonist, you may remember.
One of our intrepid heroes is one of the only ones that didn't necessarily have to deal as much with Xbox Live, I think. But it's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yes, same. I've basically forgotten most of this film. I think I watched this when everyone was watching it, because God, you can go. Everyone on YouTube was talking about it in 2012. If you're watching gaming related YouTube videos, friggin' Aaron Hansen of Game Grumps fame, he talked about it in one of the episodes or something, because Aaron Hansen is in this as an example of someone making fun of John Blow, even though that video was a joke apparently, because he really likes Braid.
I do remember a lot of people talking about this, and as someone at the time who posted a lot on V, this was kind of a laughing stock in in certain spheres of the internet. However, I actually bought this thing on Steam back in the day, back in 2012, I want to say. And I remember actually thinking it was pretty good.
It's very well made as a documentary. I think it's more the substance I don't think is aged necessarily as well, but as a film, it's great. I seem to remember I love the soundtrack in this, because it's Jim Guthrie's the guy who makes the music for this, and the soundtrack for this is incredible, and his work is really good. He did Sword and Soul, or whatever that game's called.
Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery EP?
Yes.
Yeah.
Music for that, and that's very good. So I remember really liking the soundtrack in this, but that's literally the only thing I can remember. I think
that's another that game's another one of those early indie humble bundle darling games.
Yeah, front runner games. One of those games that's in your Steam library right now. If you go look at your Steam, it's in there, and you go, "Why did I buy that?"
Exactly. But
one of those games.
So me and Gumshoe have wanted to do this for a while, because I kind of want to rewatch this to see if I still enjoy it. And Gumshoe also wants to watch it to see if he thinks it's as insufferable as he remembers it, or certain people. So let me just say before I watch this, even at the time, so far divorced from all of the Phil Fish isms, or just that era of being in game spaces, and him being a public figure.
Pre the Dark Ages, it should be noted, by the way.
Yes, this is pre-Gamergate.
2014, this was before the times we do not mention.
Before the darkness.
Yeah.
Even at the time, like, Phil Fish was kind of seen as like a joke.
Yeah.
And he does. I remember even thinking like back then, like he didn't seem that terrible. But like, of course, like my favorite part from this documentary, even back then, was all the stuff with Edmund and Tommy making Super Meat Boy,
Yes.
and just like all the braid stuff, just sort of like washing over my face like
Blends
nothing,
into the
because
background radiation. Yeah.
yeah, like or maybe I just hadn't had my vaccines at the time, like, but
That's true.
like Jonathan Blow, just like I never really connected with his story all that much, but I'm gonna try and not like take things that certain
That's right.
people have maybe
I'll
said in the future.
don't worry. We'll try to avoid that. I will definitely snipe at them both because I don't
think,
like either of them. Edmund McMillan's great, like, but we'll get up to that next time.
I think that's fair. But all right, that's enough. That's enough preamble.
That's enough.
So I'm gonna, however you manage to get this film, I'm on the Steam version, so it has like a little menu. I'll just be showing this on the screen right now. I'm not gonna be showing the movie on
Obviously,
YouTube
be
because
illegal.
that's like a copyright thing. You should probably.
That would be unethical.
Yeah, it would be
by the
unethical.
movie.
You could probably.
It's fine.
It's
More
like
people worked on this. People deserve money to work on it. Just
it's like $10.
It's not even,
I thought it was $5.
Oh jeez. Okay, maybe not.
Maybe wait for a sale, or just rent it on YouTube for like $3. I don't know. Find a way to get it.
Figure it out. You're smart, viewer. I trust you.
Yeah, you're smart. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to count down from 5, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to hit go, and I'm gonna press play the film, and it's going to take us right into the movie. I will probably show like the first little bit of it, so you maybe have a better idea of like syncing it up. But me and Gumshoe are gonna start the movie around then, and our commentary will begin. So if you want to watch at home, just maybe like tab into another version.
Like, it's not gonna be a lot to see, or just watch it somewhere else because it's not really a whole lot you can do. But
But I hope you all enjoy, and let's get this started. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we got the running, the B, Blinkworks 7. Yeah, I do remember this being like pretty professionally well done.
Yes, this is a good movie in terms of it being a documentary about like making something. If you interpret this as a story of artists creating things, it's a lot less intolerable. The issue is the intrepid heroes of our story, where this sort of falls apart a bit.
You're recording your audio, right?
Yes, I'm definitely recording. I'm looking
at
my Audacity right now.
Super Meat Boy Xbox release day. All right, I'm gonna mute my desktop audio just because I don't want your audio like soaking in the indie game the movie audio. I just feel like it might be annoying. Are you fucking kidding me?
So very good thing to note there is that was the old UI for Xbox. Oh no, hang on.
The blades, right? Yeah.
That would have been very early. That would have been just after Xbox Next or whatever it was called.
Dude, he's drinking Diet Werner's. I love Werner's ginger soda. And Diet Snapple.
He's got the Weibo on the table.
I'm gonna see if I can turn on the subtitles here. Hopefully this doesn't pause this.
On.
Oh, there's like a little commentary thing. Yes, all right. English closed caption. Thank you. Oh, that is so, oh my god. The I don't know if your file is like this, but the what the fuck is the bit rate on this feed is not very good.
Well, I mean, mine's just a.
It might just be a. Oh, true. Yeah, maybe like the Steam version has a lower bit rate.
It is streaming a bit.
That's interesting. Tommy reference. I don't. It's a nice Super Metroid poster. I've never.
It's a Bart's Nightmare poster.
Yeah, I think these are just a bunch of old Nintendo Power things he had. But like Tommy and Edmund kind of don't really talk a lot. Oh, here he is. They don't really seem to talk that much anymore. Which is it's interesting because Edmund McMillan, he seems like a pretty cool guy, but like the old Team Meat Gang, him, Tommy, and Danny Baranovsky, they all seem to like kind of not talk to Edmund anymore, which is very interesting. I don't know what to really make of that.
Quote unquote interesting.
Yeah, quote unquote interesting, because it does seem like Edmund is a cool guy, but maybe we don't know him as well as we think we do, or maybe just it's something happened. I don't know.
Maybe it's just like I don't know. This is one way to hate your friends. It's trying to make a project with them.
Yeah, it's go into business. Yeah.
Yeah, opening a business with each other.
I think it's mostly just a case of like him and like, because Tommy has Meat Boy for the most part. I think it's just the fact that like maybe that he just didn't work with Tommy on Isaac.
Yeah, I was wondering. Wasn't there some big kerfuffle about Binding of Isaac over like its development or something?
There's like a lot of
some
stuff.
Bad blood, but like I thought there was like a bunch of versions of it that are completely different.
It's like a case of because they remade the game with Nicholas, right? And Nicholas has its own skeletons that are kind of separate from the like Edmund, but you know, there's some poison water there. I'm sure anyone who's seen my channel knows what the fuck I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, because you love Nicholas and defend them. That's what that video is about, right?
Yes, exactly. That's what that video
definitely
is.
what you said in that video. Is you said it was okay.
Yeah, all the things that
oh God, this was that time of year, wasn't it?
What's his name? That Nicholas is allegedly done is actually cool and chill and awesome and didn't happen.
Yeah, that's true. I remember you said that in the video. I've watched it.
I did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Journey, man, I still haven't played Journey. I need to play that.
Oh man, oh my God, that would have been
Minecraft. Oh man, imagine if we got the guy who worked on Minecraft for this documentary. Anyway, oh hey, here we go, Sword and Sorcery.
Just in time for him to win it. Oh my God, Nidhogg, that's a great one. Overgrowth.
Oh man,
Overgrowth came out. It took like 8 more years, but I'm pretty sure Overgrowth is finished now.
And he's still suing Valve.
Oh. Nidhogg was great. We played a lot of Nidhogg around this time when I was still in high school, and then the sequel came out, and then everyone stopped playing Nidhogg.
Yeah, I really loved Nidhogg. Oh, this is fucking retro, the old Steam layout. Yeah. But yeah, Nidhogg 1 is really cool. Nidhogg 2, it's kind of a old like complaint, but like why'd they make it look like that, bro?
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it than just that it looks ugly. I think that a lot of Nidhogg's great design is the screen language is super simple, so it's really easy to like figure out. It's great. It's a great competitive game because there's not really a whole lot going on, like visually, to distract you.
These are all like first, second wave indie games.
Crazy. Why are they using such a whack texture pack for Minecraft?
I haven't played Limbo in forever.
Some could say you don't need to.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably hasn't aged that well. I remember liking it at the time, but I was also like 13, so
yeah.
I just remember this one time. There was like a Matthew Matosis stream where like Limbo came up offhand or whatever, and you could just hear him like, "Yeah, I've played Limbo." It just like moved on, just like the venom in his mouth as he said that. It's very funny.
There's two kinds of people in this world: people who like Limbo and people who don't. We'll leave it there, I guess. Boing boing.
Boing boing.
Do you think they're gonna show Giant Bomb?
Boing boing is Cory Doctorow's website.
Shit.
I think it is.
Shout out to Cory
It's still
Doctorow.
kicking, I think. I actually read a few Cory Doctorow books in like high school. I remember because he actually commented. Here's our Gamergate counter, Gamergate counter 2. He actually talked about Gamergate at the time, and I remember I remember at the time reading what he was saying and just being like, "Yeah, whatever, man."
Yo,
because I was 16 and stupid.
Yeah. No, famous for having good opinions. 16-year-old.
So yeah, 16-year-old boys.
What do you know, Cory Doctorow? Famous, fucking professional who's worked in the industry for decades. I'm smarter than you.
Yeah, he's a good writer.
Yes,
from what I remember, anyway. I mean,
he's really
that's 16-year-old me saying that, so I don't know.
He's fantastic. Like still to this day, he does like I don't know if it's TED Talks. He does. It's like
I'm surprised you've read him. I guess I shouldn't be that surprised.
He's pretty big in software at the moment, especially in the free software movement. And
oh sure, yeah.
He's where Inshitification came from. He was the big guy.
No shit.
Yeah, he's that's where that term comes from. He like I don't know if I don't know if published is the right word, but it's his essays is where that term and that
he coined it.
Yeah,
it's a good term.
Never heard of it. This game's never. It's not gonna go anywhere.
It is very funny that like Meat Boy was really big at the time, but
yeah,
like if you ask someone what Edmund is known for, it's Isaac. It is really crazy that like Edmund McMillan was a part of like 2 like huge indie hits at the time, and like and the second one got bigger than the first,
defining like classics. And he's the like throw in for this this documentary is so good too.
I remember when Isaac came out. I remember it was like getting it on Steam. I think like the week it came out, and thinking like, oh, it's cool. It's kind of like Zelda. It's not like Zelda really, but the old HUD for the game looks like Zelda. I
going on there, Jetman.
Zeros, yeah. Mega Man 2 is not that hard, but Mega Man 1's
if you know what you're doing, and you take the you
get the metal blades. Yeah.
Yeah, if you follow the order that makes it so it doesn't suck, it's a lot easier, but that's true of every Mega Man game, honestly.
I do really like the Dr. Fetus design. I actually think he's a really cute looking guy.
It's like it's funny
same with Meat Boy
Fetus is
too,
in a glass jar, and it's a very early Death Stranding reference. Little did Edmund McMillan know.
It's very Newgrounds core, Meat Boy.
Yeah.
Like, because of course it is, right? But still.
It's
Castle Crashers
that got a fucking update the other week.
Yeah, they remastered it, I think, a few years ago even.
Good for them.
Braid got remastered last year. Jonathan Blow had a shit fit because it wasn't on PSN front page, which is kind of how this movie starts. Is Tommy being like, it's not an Xbox Live, what the fuck?
On the front page with all the people who spent millions of dollars to be there.
I do kind of want to play Braid just because, like, I know it was like a big deal at the time, but I feel I have a really, really good feeling that if I played it, it would probably just be like, yep, this is trash.
Yeah, this is
definitely not punching above, like, even indie games at the time.
Yeah, it's not even his best game. I don't even like The Witness that much, but The Witness is better than Braid.
That just makes sense, right? Because
he's gotten better. Like
built off of it.
But it's just like weird that like how much of a foundational game Braid was, and it's just like barely anyone talks about it anymore.
Yeah,
which is
I think it's
touching on one of my biggest problems with this documentary in general.
Big fish in a small pond kind of thing. No pun intended. I think I mean we haven't gotten to Phil yet, but like Fez at the very least. I think out of all these games, Fez oh wow, speak of the devil.
He shall appear.
I think Fez probably has like a case for probably being the best aged. Not in the sense that like Meat Boy isn't like very good, but the fact that like people are still making indie games like Fez.
Yeah, you can.
That they aren't.
You can pick up Fez and put it down. $2008.
But like the game being called Fez, like that being like the whole thing, it's very late 2000s,
that is
like
very
millennial humor.
Yes. Aren't Fez's quirky? There he is.
We're getting his French Canadian accent is really cutting through here.
Canadian character.
You could say that.
Oh God, you sure can't. It sure was, Phil.
Nowadays,
like I said, do you think they're gonna show Giant Bomb in this?
I feel like it's only a matter of time, right?
They got it. They were a big deal at the time, and I mean, this was before that Giant Bomb thing happened with Fez. But like,
I think this is before
that whole thing is funny.
Before even Ryan. Oh fuck! What the hell is his last name? Ryan Davis. Before Ryan Davis even passed away, so I feel like they'll probably show up if they're gonna get like game journalists here. Why not, right? Finish
Phil,
the goddamn game.
You're so put upon, Phil. Oh man, he really does not make it hard, does he?
There is like kind of
oh my god.
Still waiting on that game, by the way. Although it's as of the writing for this, it is taking a little while. The thing is with Phil Fish is that he does have like he's just really abrasive, but a lot of the times, a lot of the stuff he's saying is like people online are annoying. They are really annoying. It's just that like he's just really outspoken about it. So if you're like kind of on the fence for him, like if you aren't sure on your opinion on him, it is kind of hard to like see him how he reacts and just be like, yeah, Phil, I agree. I don't know.
You know,
I do have a bit of empathy for him. Even with like all those comments about like or that very famous GDC comment about Japanese game developers, notwithstanding.
Not with the.
I have empathy for being annoyed by people online being annoying.
This was definitely 2 years before the dark times, as we said. Yes. So it was gonna get a lot worse too.
Before it got a lot worse before it got better.
Yeah, say that much of it.
I don't even know what Phil's even up to these days. Last I heard that there was that DJ thing. But do you know those like you have an analog pocket, don't you?
No, I haven't. I have a Super Retroid. My older brother got an analog pocket actually.
Oh, the analog consoles have like a little startup song
jingle,
and a little startup jingle. Phil Fish composed that.
Good for you, Phil.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised.
Everybody's got to do something.
I was like, no shit. That's like the last thing I've ever heard of him doing. He must be doing something. Like, you know,
he's gotta be.
Is he really living off Fez residuals? I don't know. That's probably just behind the scenes stuff, I guess.
I checked into his like Wikipedia before we started recording. Like, I was like, I should look into this a bit to see what he's been up to, and it's just like nothing. Maybe he's just like hiding, and I mean, he's got all the reason in the world to be hiding. Yes. Obviously.
From what I remember, he does kind of get fucked over in this documentary. Although, you know, considering how
he did that to himself, yes.
Maybe you can make a case.
This is definitely the era of like, and I think you and I personally have seen. What's the word to describe this? Peers of ours.
Cohorts.
No cohorts. We never worked with them. But like, this attitude of like, oh, I'm an auteur. Fuck you. I don't have to be professional. Like, we've seen a lot of that, and that attitude of being like, I'm an artist. I don't need. I say what you're talking about. I don't work with squares, and then like, oh, I fucked over all my professional aspects. Whoops. Some could say that you can blame Phil for that aspect.
Yeah.
He certainly walked into that wall himself, didn't he?
Yeah. And anyway, here's everyone's favorite character,
okay,
Jonathan.
Here's
Jonathan just asking questions. Blow.
Yeah, genuine. The genius himself, maker of 2 video games. All right. I'll get this out of the way real quick. I don't like Braid. I never really liked it. I hate The Witness. I don't like Jonathan Blow's attitude. I will say I respect him a lot as a programmer and a developer. He's very, very good at programming and developing. He's like doing... I want to say he's working on some like custom programming language just for developing games or something at the moment.
Yes, which
is pretty cool.
What I heard as well.
I don't like his attitude. Oh, what? I've never seen that in a video game before.
There ain't no point to the game, though, you know?
Ain't no point to the damn game.
The thing is that, like, even just looking at the footage, it's like, this game looks strange.
5 games come out of week.
Game feels
yeah. Oh god, it's starting.
Yeah, I mean, like, I never played Braid, but I know, like, the thing with this game. I know, like, the really interesting and subversive twist.
Yeah.
Look, this was novel at the time, okay?
Subversive twist, also known as Prince of Persia: Sands of Time.
Well, I was talking about the story specifically, the narrative of the game. Here you go.
Oh well, speak of the devil.
Look, he's upfront about it.
Like, he's wearing it on his sleeve.
You know what's really fucked up about this game is that the game by default turns on like tutorials at all times. So like when you're climbing on walls and like swinging from the rafters and stuff, it like tells you what buttons to press. You have to turn that off in the menus.
It's nice to
so you like
there's
actually
that
any
Ubisoft
challenge.
was getting started with it real early.
Yeah, well, it's a cool game.
Yeah, that's good.
But
great.
yeah, they just like need to not hold your hand for that. Like, you know, you can do it for the first time, but like Jesus. And just to think, it never controlled better than this original prototype.
It's got like a Ghosts and Goblins quality to it, which I suppose is nice. It's kind of painterly, but like I don't know. I even at the time with Braid, I was very much like, okay.
I don't really like the aesthetic for it. It looks like tweened animation almost. Yeah. I don't know. It looks like a Flash
smeary,
game.
Yeah, it looks very like smeared and like it's doing a lot of like interpolation for animation.
I like his shirt though.
It sure does. That does like go hard. I like the floral cream beige thing going on.
Whoa. That sound effect is killing me.
I've got this audio turned down a bit, dude. All right.
Is that true? Is that still true?
Calm down here a bit. I will look that up. And verify that because I don't
Jamie,
think
pull
that's
that
true.
up. I'm gonna look this. I'm gonna look up Metacritic's like
okay.
top 100 still.
It wasn't.
I believe at the time it was because I remember the scores for that stuff.
I remember people lot Newgrounds. Still going strong. Thank you, Tom Fulp. Sorry all your friends are crack addicts or knife murderers. One of them's in prison.
Only most of them.
Only some of them.
Let's see. I think it said it had a 93 on Metacritic, Braid.
Oh god, that old Dell monitor, Jesus. It's taking me back, bro. Everyone had those fucking awful, cheap LCD Dell monitors.
All right, guys. Braid is currently 98 on Metacritic. All-time games. It is right above God of War 2. It beats Super Mario 3D World, which is number 100, and is just below Unreal Tournament 2004. So I think it used to be in like the top 20, but there were a lot of like contemporary games while I was scrolling through that list, like Red Dead 2, obviously, like any Zelda game that's come out after.
Is it like,
Last of Us?
If it has a higher rating,
this was before The Last of Us. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, God, that was its time. It's crazy to think that that was 2013. Huh?
I know, right?
It's been so long. It really does feel like that game came out last year, doesn't it? Oh wait,
there's been just as many Last of Us games as there have been Jonathan Blow releases.
That's true.
Nice Melvin shirt.
Yeah. Scratching my stomach.
I think I just like Edmund I think is a good storyteller, and like his backstory is probably just the most interesting out of the three. Maybe it's just because he's the only one who kind of really goes into it, but like the whole like he was like a troubled kid that kind of had like support from his parents to just be himself. It is really heartwarming. Oh, sorry, grandma. That just completely owned. That was it. Yeah, his grandmother. That's also a cool shirt his grandma had. Nice Tool shirt. Of course he had a Tool shirt.
Sorry, editing Tectonic Improv. That was a very loud motorbike.
I didn't hear it.
It's gonna be my audio though. I was looking at my Audacity.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I wonder if I'll see Guppy.
Oh,
and
no.
No!
It's over.
I can't believe it, Edmund. I defended you.
I can't believe it.
No, never mind.
You would cosplay as a Smurf.
Oh boy. Holy shit, why'd they put that in there?
It's rough. That's
so funny. Is that fucking blackface, bro? That's crazy.
Oh, that's great.
Sorry, what was he talking about?
I'm just being mesmerized.
Some game he never made?
His beautiful storytelling. His abstract storytelling. As opposed to Jonathan Blow just being like, my idea was so
It's kind of like Mario, but it's a little different.
It's a little different. It's kind of like Prince of Persia: Sand in Time, but then you get cut to Edmund McMillan and he's talking about like abstract concepts and why he feels the need to create things.
Yeah, I was a pretty troubled kid. I think you can actually play this. I think he released like a lot of these like old little like Flash games as like a little bundle collection a few years after this came out. Aw. Aw.
Outer space is my friend. He really is the best part of this documentary.
Yeah, I mean he's just really likable, you know.
I can't believe one of these people became a genre-defining masterwork, multiple masterwork genius.
Kitty. Doggy.
Montreal.
Actually, that looks pretty. That looks pretty. I shouldn't poo-poo Montreal. That looked like a nice town. Fucking Ray-Bans, of course. Oh, I thought you said 98. I was like, there ain't no way he was 4 in 1998. He kind of looks like Andrew Garfield from the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Am I right? Or am I
Yeah, I can
wrong
see
here?
it. I can see that. He's get rid of the glasses, maybe.
He has like those glasses where like they kind of like fisheye the eyes. Well, that's something I was always
Yeah,
self-conscious about. I don't think it
astigmatism
ever
glasses.
really happened with my lenses, but I always noticed it, and I was like, I hope that doesn't
I'm pretty
happen with
sure
me.
because I have astigmatism lenses too, so I'm almost positive mine probably does it, but I also just don't care.
We have one of these
I'm too lazy to care about that sort of thing.
we have one of these Macintoshes at the place I work as like a little display piece.
I'm so jealous. I really love old retro.
It's pretty
computer
crazy
stuff.
to look at. Quitter.
Quitter. Pause.
Edmund telling you his life story. Oh, you're sweet. And Phil Fish telling you a story. Harassment.
Human resources.
Human resources, please. We're kidding. I'm kidding, Phil. I'll hear you out. I do remember as a kid, I really loved messing around with Tux Paint, which is like it's like the Linux version of Windows Paint.
Yeah. Did you have Cahoots when you were a kid? I played a lot of that when I was a kid.
What?
You could make like Cahoots. You could make like games and movies with it. It was like I think that
Oh
might have
no,
been
I
Australian.
never. No, I've heard of Cahoots. I just don't think I ever had that software,
Oh,
or
okay. I
like you
played a
never
lot of
messed
that
with
when
it
I
at
was a
school.
kid. Um, there was like a
Well,
big
no wonder he
push
needs
for like
glasses. He would just do this all fucking day.
God.
Stop.
Phil- Many are still asking that question to this day, Phil.
Phil, Phil. What was it? He was 4 in 1988. Dude, the fucking Phil Fish is 40 years old.
That's pretty scary. The passage of time is indeed cruel and dauntless.
It is.
Of course, you'd have a standing desk.
Of course, he was ahead of the curve. Oh, he's going with
Oh,
those freaky keyboards too.
sitting's the new cigarette. Phil Fish would tell you that standing is the new cigarettes. He'd also tell you he doesn't. He waits an hour before he has his first cup of coffee in the morning.
Oh yeah, like I just think of that Northern Lion clip.
It's precisely the kind of person I would say he's talking about.
Hunt. He sounds like me, trying to like think of something clever to say. It's like,
Yeah,
isn't it interesting that the ladder is there? It's like I don't really know what you're talking about.
yeah. I'm trying very hard to not be cynical about it, but it is very much just like basic lessons in screen language and conveyance. I mean, it's 2012's, and like I don't know, it wasn't as popular to get like to
Yeah,
see
like
videos like
the
purely
most
about game
famous
design.
like video on like game design is Igor after being like the first level of Mega Man X is cool because you have to
because
wall climb.
because you have conveyance, and this game communicates to you visual things. No other game is doing this.
Just kind of like hopping around. Or
Yeah,
it's like we're already back to Phil. It's kind of weird.
some would say the only thing is the aesthetic.
Honestly, I haven't ever played Fez either. It still looks really nice.
I did play a little bit of Fez. I don't think I've ever beaten it or anything, but I just don't really care. Is the problem?
Yeah.
I'm more of a 3D platformer kind of guy than I am 2D, to be honest.
This is pretty interesting hearing this part.
See, this is interesting because these are just tools that exist, and I mean, this is all fucking pre Unity and pre.
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah.
Like pre Godot, like this the stuff he's describing with like cube wrapping is like this. The engines just do this for you now.
I think Unity was around.
Yeah.
I think it started in like 2011, so maybe it wasn't around when this was filmed, but it was around when this maybe came out. But it was a far fucking cry from how it is now.
It is pretty insane that like he just has a mega texture and he has a script running to like cut coordinates for the sprite sheet and then drawing it live, and that's how he's like fetching it.
That is interesting. Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna be faster than just having individual sprites, but it might save on memory, I guess.
Well, if you have to do like
that you just had to do back then, yeah.
Well, even just like how the game works, you need to do like the Paper Mario-esque like flip thing. It kind of makes sense to do it like that because like you're saving time in the long run, I guess is the idea. Oh, maybe not though, because you restart the game 3 times. But what are you gonna do? He like clearly got a lot better at pixel art in that time.
Yeah, the color scheme's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot more vibrant. Interesting. 3.5 years to make a video, and no way, unthinkable.
Yeah.
That's not totally literally every game that comes out now, huh? Jesus.
Silk Song fans would like the word.
I'm sure you can like turn that like little screen cap like Silk Song has been in production for 2,000 days.
Yeah, it's been in production for 5, scratch 6, scratch 7, scratch 8 years.
Jesus.
It's okay. Silk Song fans will get over it.
It's kind of interesting that like they have these 3 guys. Jonathan Blow's game is out. So, like, that's his angle, is that, like, he has had the success, but then Edmund and Fish, or Edmund and John and Phil Fish, their games aren't out at the time of this documentary.
Yeah.
I'm like, the angle those two have, I'm not really sure what's the major difference between them. I guess like at the end of the documentary, Meat Boy is out and Fez is not, but
yes, I was going to say the crux of this is that this is about Meat Boy coming out and then Fez doesn't come out. It just came out after this fucking thing was finished.
It did. I actually don't know if the special edition like epilogue stuff was made after Fez came out or like it was closer to coming out. Fez did come out, by the way. If anyone's watching this doesn't know that.
Fez did come out. If you're thinking that it didn't come out, no, you're thinking of the sequel.
You're thinking of Fez 2, which was famously canceled. Yeah. No, Fez did come out and people did like it.
Yes. Fez was positively received. I just don't think that Phil Fish has ever been very... I don't think he's ever been much of a darling in the space, even with people liking Fez. I think people hated him quite a bit.
He was just
even his defenders were like he's too abrasive.
Yeah, he was just too abrasive. Which again, like, you know, some people might like, but
he definitely was a style thing at the time. Like I said, there was a big like, oh, I'm an auteur. I don't actually have to be professional. I can say fuck in interviews. I'm kind of glad that's starting to disappear a little bit, but that was very. He was far from the only person doing that. I'll say that much for him. This is crazy. I didn't really play that much Meat Boy. I played way more Binding of Isaac than I did Meat Boy.
Yeah, same.
I want to say my older brother was more into Meat Boy.
My he's like describing how it's like Meat Boy is different from Mario, and like, you know, obviously, like from a glance, Meat Boy is very different from the type of game Mario is. But like I am more of a fan of platformers where you get like power ups and stuff, as opposed to like games that are focused solely on like the core mechanics and like level design. I don't know.
That I'm definitely much the same. I prefer the game. Not necessarily, because the Big Catch came out this year, last year. Happy 2025.
I've heard of that game.
That game is fantastic, by the way, and it's free, and it's like an 8-hour demo that you can just play for free, and it is one of the best 3D platformers I've played ever. And I don't think that game gives you any new skills or anything. It's very much just you get, here's your skill set, figure it out, and it does a very good job of that. Pseudo Regalia does the new power-ups thing like a Metroid game, and it's incredible. They're both very worth playing. Big Catch is free though, so if you want a good 3D platformer, go get the demo for Big Catch, because it's free, and it's made by the guys who made Yonoid 2.
Oh, yes.
That fan game. It is very bizarre to with the benefit of hindsight, I suppose. A lot of the things they're talking about are like elementary level like game design stuff, as in like watching one Matthew Matosis video would teach you these things. But
well,
I mean,
it's less like learning that and more just like hearing it from them, I guess.
Yeah. And it's like no shit, Phil Fish knows game design, all right? You don't accidentally make a game. These things take years to develop. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's not nice. Jesus.
I'm sorry, Phil.
A little time after that, I got bit by a spider, and
a little time after that, the Giant Bomb interview happened.
Right, yeah, the other guy.
He worked on like Ubisoft movie tie-in games or something, then they looked terrible. Not that that's his fault.
Wait, Phil Fish or the other guy?
Yeah, Phil Fish. Like his first game was like the fucking movie tie-in for Open Season, that DreamWorks film.
Oh wow, I actually didn't know that.
Or something like that. That game's the god awful, like all movie tie-in games are, but that is, to make that clear, that's not his fault. It's like blaming him for fucking something that's not his fault.
Yeah,
but, like, it's so funny that his discography, or whatever you want to call it, is like 2 movie tie-in games that are god awful, and then he made Fez.
Hey, I mean, like, if you're a game dev in Montreal, Ubisoft ain't the worst place to work, I guess.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, at the time, it was probably pretty stable. Nowadays, I probably wouldn't want to work. Oh my god.
Oh, Phil. Oh, Phil. Oh, God. Imagine if that was just black screen and then it showed up and it was like,
Phil Fish died.
This documentary, Phil Fish killed himself.
Oh, I remember this part. I remember this part. The showing Fez at the Indie Game Expo or whatever.
I'm so sorry, I shouldn't laugh at something like that in public, but God, that's funny. Just to imagine, like, I would kill myself hard cut to black and Phil Fish would later die.
Like, Fish would later pass away.
Oh, God.
Oh, turtle. I wonder if that turtle's still around.
Turtles live a long time.
They do. Was it the turtle that's in Rocky is still around?
Hmm.
At least last I checked. Apparently, Sylvester Stallone still has it.
That Galapagos tortoise that Richard Attenborough did for that documentary it met like fucking Napoleon or something crazy.
Oh, I heard about this.
It was like Charles Darwin had also like owned it, and like a French king owned it. Take your word for it, buddy.
Oh yeah, he has type 1. Kitty.
The real star of the show. charging dock for the 360 controllers.
Fuck, Jesus, yeah. I don't think they
The Kramer.
they don't live in the same state even, right?
Yeah, that would have been a crazy like back then.
That's
like,
a crazy thing to say.
Crazy thing now. Like every indie game is like that. Just Discord teams.
Yeah, just like remote stuff. But even like at the time, it's probably tougher.
Using Skype, and this was right as Skype was starting to get worse too.
Yeah,
This is like when Skype was getting shitty.
that's an awesome desk though. Probably a pain in the ass to move, but
Yeah,
I always
it's
wanted something like that.
desk. Yeah, I would kill to have enough space to put a desk like that. And
Yeah, right. And kill myself. Grab the toaster.
uh,
Jesus. That's crazy. So true. It's got the rock band drums, I just noticed.
the fucking the Kramer painting on the
Oh, yeah.
So,
What was it?
God, it really takes you back. Everyone fucking had that thing at the time.
There's a local game store I go to that has that exact same poster. It's like on the wall.
I love Seinfeld and so does Six, so I would get the Kramer poster and like frame it and everything because it's that painting is so funny. Shoutouts to everyone in the audience who's not American, by the way, because here you see
Unity?
Americans eating.
American movie burger music starts playing. That is the typical American dinner right there. That's what we have for dinner every night.
They were having sandwiches with fucking potato chips, and that's like nowhere else on the planet does that except like America.
It's a nice house.
Damn fine house.
It looks like it looks like was it Cameron's house in Ferris Bueller. There ain't no way it's as expensive. I wonder if that ended up happening. I assume so. I'm sure Meat Boy made plenty of money.
I don't think either of them are struggling too hard these days.
Yeah, that's a lot darker. So of course that's what it is.
God, I love Newgrounds. What a wonderful time it was to be alive. Oh god, the internet sucks now.
I think this is when Edmund was it Danielle I think shows up in the doc. Danielle's cool. Yeah, I believe Edmund has a lot of nice things to say about her in this documentary.
We're getting a lot of prelude to the introduction of a. If I was making a documentary, that is the strangest spelling of Seamus I've ever seen in my life.
Chronic Logic.
And I know at least 2 Irish people. Oh.
Ah, right, yeah.
Oh, don't do this. For people watching, by the way. Don't ever do this, by the way. But
It worked out. It worked out. But
it
don't
worked
do
out,
this.
but don't do this. Ever. Oh.
With the Xbox lanyard.
with the Xbox when you're done. The god awful interlaced fucking coding.
Back in when like Isaac before it was before Rebirth even came out, you could get like a physical version of the Flash version of Isaac. And you got like some like extra goodies with it, like I think like a little physical statue of Isaac, and I'm pretty sure that Danielle made those like by hand because they were pretty limited. It was like a limited version of the game. There weren't a lot of copies made. I'm pretty sure like the little statues you got were made by Danielle. So Danielle, how's it feel to be married to a lowbrow artist who makes no money?
It's romantic. It's beautiful.
It's great.
Just look at this bohemian couple.
Ooh, gonna have to cancel
No,
Danielle.
sorry, Danielle, you're
Adopt,
canceled.
don't shop. Adopt, don't shop.
You're gonna have to go to jail. Okay.
Oh, Guppy mentioned.
Oh God, please, Edmund, don't remind me.
Oh yeah, that was probably a reference even.
Yeah,
because that was like brand
the
spanking
first season
new.
of it was
Oh fuck yeah, Waffle House.
Oh sorry, 2010. Geez, so we were in season 3 by the time this was out.
2010, I think, was season 1 even.
Yeah.
Right.
This is I saw the calendar before 2010, so that would have been right as the first season. It was a big deal. A little show you might have heard of.
I was in 8th grade when Game of Thrones came out.
Did I ever tell you the story like when I watched Game of Thrones for the first time when I was in I think I might have been in high school by the time I watched it, 2012 or so. I was homesick from school because I had the flu. That was really bad flu.
Yeah.
So I just binged watched the first couple seasons of Game of Thrones, and I had like the Red Wedding happened, and I was so delirious from my fever that I thought it was happening to me, and I was like, "Why are all my friends dying?"
That's basically how it feels to binge watch a TV show, though. It's like all your friends, they're your friends now, and it's probably not a good show to binge watch.
Yeah.
For that feeling,
it's 100 million hours long, and it becomes unwatchable by the final 3 seasons. But
and everyone dies anyway.
Yeah, and you know what?
Just
Game of
there's
Thrones
like
ruined my life ever since I watched it. You know,
there's the one guy sleeping in the Waffle House at all times.
Yeah,
I'm glad they got footage of him. This is how Boston looks, by the way, to this day.
Skyline is completely unchanging.
Construction is still going on. You can tell this was filmed way later because Phil's hair is completely fucked.
Public transport service. Oh yeah, here you go. This is the famous.
This is the "It's not turning on" scene. Which is like, this is so stressful. I would as Phil Fish said, I would probably kill myself if this happened to me at like a live press event.
God. Yeah, like that's fucking rough. You get like the cold sweats.
Yeah.
In the back of your head, your your fucking hair stands up on its end. Ugh.
Was the last time I went to PAX? It was 2020 March. It was literally like 2 weeks after like everything would shut down because of COVID, and I got my That's where the Vinny picture comes from.
My
By the
favorite
way,
photo of
my
all
favorite
any of
photo
my
of me
friends.
with Vinny Vine sauce, but also
Speaking of people who
and
look like they want to kill themselves.
and more related, kind of like related to recent news. I got my copy of Devil May Cry signed by Hideki Kamiya and Atsushi
Yes.
Inaba of Platinum Games. And it's really
Yeah.
funny to look at that now because if I had to guess, I assume those two do not really like each other anymore. Remains to be seen. Yeah,
People have been saying that about Fez for to this day, Phil.
I'd kill myself. Didn't I say this?
God, I wish copyright didn't suck so much because it would be so fun. I'm just thinking of all the funny edits I could have made. Where it's just like, what's the worst thing that could happen? I kill myself. Oh, fuck you, Phil. No, it might have been because of the. Yeah, I guess he was probably he might have been doing it to be petty. It is Phil Fish after all, but like if it is like a legal thing that's going on, you probably do have to.
Yeah, I do remember this.
The grand piano. Um,
There's like another guy that works with him. I guess maybe he just didn't want to be in the movie. That's why, like, he was in the few of the early scenes with Phil, but he hasn't really shown up much since. Oh my god, fuck off.
God,
The
that
fucking shining shot.
dolly
Come on,
zoom.
guys.
Yes.
You
It's
could.
pretentious all the way around, which is at least nice.
Can we get shirtless Phil? I
Look at
kind
those
of want.
hairy nipples. Come on, Phil.
Hell yeah.
Show us that French Canadian spirit I've heard so much about.
Get that like spoony scene. Ah,
The
yes,
fucking
thank you.
the Austin Powers hair. Yay,
Yes.
Phil! You're a stud, Phil. You're a fucking stud.
All right, I love Phil Fish. I take it
Don't
back.
listen to them. Yeah, don't listen to those people on V, Phil. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Ah, rip1up.com. Raid was released in August 2008. Oh my god. Watch this. Yep. This is the most iconic scene in the entire movie.
I was gonna say that shirt does fuck really hard.
It's a good shirt. It's a great shirt.
Jonathan Blow does have an aura to him. I will say that about him.
Ryan Davis.
Yeah.
That wasn't Giant Bomb, but that was pre-Giant Bomb. Ryan Davis. I'm surprised. I can't believe I crazy. I called that. Not that surprising, I guess.
It's like seeing the Boeing plane that flew into the North Tower.
Yeah.
Before it happened, there it is. It's rare you get to see it's rare you get to see a man's L before he takes it, but there it is.
Oh yeah, so they're talking about how he's like, he's just always been a reply guy. Penny Arcade, yeah.
Just fucking. Hey.
Well, it's. I mean,
well. There he is.
You put yourself out there.
You're the one cultivating this fucking aura. I hate. This is something I hate when. It's like, oh, people have this perception of me outwardly, and it's like, okay, well, you should probably examine why that happens and do something.
Yeah.
It's like it's sad that it happened to you, John. Like I understand, but like that is one of those things that's like, okay, maybe I should reflect a bit and not have this happen.
It is just kind of like, this is like his chance to sort of be like kind of explain himself a little bit more, and I think for a lot of people it just sort of alienated them even more to him.
He's
not
very
not to say the
eccentric
P
and
word, but
yeah,
like
he's
it's pretty. They didn't
he's
like the
very
game right.
eccentric.
Why didn't
Yeah,
they liked the game wrong? It's
yeah.
kind of like, oh my god, come on.
Oh, come on, you gotta try a little harder than that, John.
Yeah. There ain't no point to the game though.
Ain't no point to the damn game.
And they, oh my god, they film him in the dark room too.
Oh, I
Right.
see the shirt.
Just
Oh my
hell,
god.
man.
That is so unfortunate. What were they thinking?
Jesus.
Oh god, that is cut for comedy too. That's like edited intentionally to be
And
funny.
you can find this clip on YouTube still.
Oh god, that clip probably has a longer lasting legacy than this film does now.
It's the most famous clip from the film, which is kind of a shame because this is like it.
It's shot really.
It's not bad. This isn't bad.
Oh god,
It's kind of nice as like a time capsule almost.
it's a good historical.
Like, oh wow,
document
Twitter. Remember
for,
Twitter, guys? Giant bomb.
Oh jeez, I think we're roboting out a bit here, Tech, but that's fine.
GamingTruth.com. If that website existed in 2020, it would cover very different things from what it did back then, I bet.
Giant
Oh,
bomb.
there you
it
go.
was.
Giant bomb.
Okay. Okay, that's. I was expecting good. Are we back?
It's kind of New Vegas.
Okay, all right.
New Vegas, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, Fallout.
We're roboting
New
out
Vegas.
pretty hard.
It released with Fallout New Vegas,
What,
Super
what,
Meat
what,
Boy,
what, what Fallout New Vegas?
Super Meat Boy, and Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, only one of those is good.
Ah, come on. So rude to Super Meat Boy. Little does he know that Fez and Braid are also in this documentary.
Yeah. What do you mean you've never heard of them?
Tommy kind of looks like a friend of my brother's, which is funny because I'm pretty sure they're a nice foot shot.
Yeah,
They're both diabetic too, which is funny to think about.
history doesn't repeat, it rhymes.
Maybe there's like a diabetes phenotype. If they want one. Now, smart viewer, you may remember from Tommy's very A+ acting from the opening that Super Meat Boy does not appear on the front page. That's what we like to call a in media res.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind, that dramatic irony, because we know that something's gonna go wrong with the launch, but he doesn't.
We've seen the bomb under the table, but the characters haven't seen it.
That's right. This is called filmmaking, and it's very important that you know this.
Bygone era of gaming.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck now.
Now they don't give a fuck. You can just release the game even if it doesn't work now. Shoutouts to Peggy for that's very topical. Giving an 18 plus restricted rating to Balatro because it has gambling, quote unquote, in it.
Has gambling imagery. Never mind the fact that like sports games are basically casinos now.
Yeah. Daniel Ron.
Yeah, that's a total shit show. Just completely different world now.
Yeah, well, it's crazy to think that like they were being like, oh, if you don't pass QA rounds, we're not putting you on Xbox Live. That's crazy.
It's crazy that this was like at the time, like Microsoft was such a player. Hey, Skype, what do you know?
Gosh,
Microsoft was such a they were like a make or break for a lot of these indies back then, and like nowadays it's kind of like, who gives a fuck about Microsoft? You don't even need them anymore. They're like nothing now.
Microsoft exists to get you games for $1.
Games for free, with fucking Game Pass or crap.
They're basically Blockbuster now. You just get a game for $1 and play for a weekend.
Up, Guppy.
Windows XP.
Oh yeah, well, I noticed that earlier. Oh wow, you could have like Twitter banners. I forgot about that.
God,
and like the sides. I wonder what those CDs are. I guess I can probably guess what those CDs are.
Just mark it on your calendars, folks.
I believe this is when Danny Baranowski shows up for his little cameo. And by shows up, I mean like he texts Phil.
He's coming to birth.
Renaud's the other guy who's not really in the documentary much with Phil.
French Canadian.
Oh, Renaud. Sorry.
Renaud.
Sorry to all my French Canadian viewers. I did not take French in high school.
Oh. Only one second. I can grab a Pepsi Max. That will be like literally less than 5 seconds.
They call it Pepsi Max in Australia still. We just call it zero sugar. I wonder if like this guy needs to sign it in person. He can't like give them a digital signature, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he just like wants to be there.
It might not be too far off actually, because like digital signatures are still so finicky these days, so it might have just not existed at the time. You might have literally needed to do actual hand signatures back then. The prom is tonight.
And PAX is tomorrow.
And Penny Arcade Expo is tomorrow. Oh god. Phil. Sweetie.
It's a nice jacket. No! Not the Fez kiosk!
Not the Fez kiosk! Oh god, DVI inputs, Jesus.
I was using DVI on my computer until literally last month when I built my new one.
That's insane. I think one of my computers in my house is still using that. That's just because I need it. The monitor is just that old. Okay, so hang on. What's the game that was competing with him?
No, it's not competing with him. It's just his old like partner like doesn't want to work with him anymore. But like the way they're signing off the rights, I guess, to the game, he's probably gonna. I guess like he gets probably like some cut from the game if it's finished. And like obviously we don't have this other guy's side of the story. Yeah. We're only getting Phil's side of the story, which is Depends on
call
how.
that unethical on
I
the
don't.
filmmaker's part, but go on.
Well, I mean, like, it's just a matter of if the guy doesn't agree to be in the documentary, he doesn't agree,
Yeah.
But I do wonder like what he would stand to gain from not signing off on this. Spoilers. Well, I won't spoil it actually, but I mean,
For a game fucking
Fez
12
does
years
come out. We do know
Did
that
release.
the game
I've
released.
played it.
So something happens between them.
Beautiful music from Jim Guthrie, by the way. Already talked about it. Love the soundtrack in this documentary a lot.
What has Jim Guthrie been up to recently? Because like Super Brothers is really old.
Oh, this might be the Maelstrom. This might actually be my favorite song in the documentary.
He knows the names of the songs, guys. He's a real Guthrie head.
You can call me a Guther.
He's a real Guther.
This is like, it's so funny that the fucking
Get ready for Black Ops.
Get ready for Black Ops. Zune. Zune. Getting in, God, the old fucking sound effects for Xbox 360 invites. It's so funny to imagine him like looking for the Meat Boy like banner on Xbox Live front page, and while he's doing it, someone's just like invites you to a party to play Xbox, like play Halo Reach. Oh, he's like, oh, my friend Tommy's on. We'll see when he's to play Halo Reach with me.
Hi, Tommy. You want to go play? Yeah, was Halo Reach even out?
Yeah, 2010. I think.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because I was in 8th grade when that happened. He's like, oh, it's 12 p.m. Pacific time.
Dr. Pepper time in Black Ops. Oh God, what a time to be alive.
This does fucking suck. I think.
Okay, so this is the thing I've got to say.
I think this works out, but like that would be bullshit.
Was that part of the contract that they were supposed to get on the front page or something, or is he just being a prima donna about it?
Yeah.
The whole if they like fucked
the
up
idea is that he was
this.
supposed to they were supposed to get the game out at this specific time, and then they'd get like a front page banner promotion if they did it.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that would be a huge fucking deal, especially at the time.
To like meet the deadline for your contract, and then they just didn't.
Especially if you like work yourself to the bone.
Yeah. This is a perfectly in keeping character with Microsoft, though.
Guppy. Rest in peace, Guppy.
You're saving Isaac runs in the future forever.
Yeah, you're immortalized in Isaac as the best transformation in the game. Yo, that Wario cutout is awesome.
Land poster, that's awesome.
He's kind of got like the Doug Walker hat. It's more just like an actual dad cap. It's not like his like director hat, so I guess it's not quite the same thing.
Dramatic irony of this.
So yeah, I sure hope you don't need to rely on Twitter for any sort of self-promotion in the future or anything. That definitely never happens.
Everyone's gonna love being on Twitter and using it all the time because there's no better options. Well, I mean, there is better options now, but it sure did take 10 years, didn't it? This is an interesting.
That aged very well. Nothing we can do but blame Microsoft.
Yeah. Screen cap that and put that on your wall.
Yeah. Same, honestly.
Yo.
Tommy's hitting us with the truth nukes.
I don't dream of labor, Tommy. Yeah, it's interesting to know. Go look back in time with dramatic irony to know that Super Meat Boy fucking changed the
PAX,
world.
yeah. I've been out here.
That very same PAX. I've gone to PAX Southeast a single time and never went back because it was pretty boring. But that might have been my fault because I wasn't there for the actual like gaming. The real reason you go to PAX is to sit at the GameCubes and play fucking Melee all night.
Yeah, I played a lot of like.
I didn't do that when
demos.
I was a teenager.
I did a lot of demos last time I was there. What was it? Yeezbird. I actually don't know how to say their name, but they had Nirvana demoed there.
Mm-hmm.
Nirvana and World of Horror was new at the time.
You got me those cards or whatever for Nirvana all those years later. It took a whole fucking pandemic destroying the world as we knew.
All that rare promo material for a game that still is not out. Can we get like Indie Game the movie too about Nirvana?
Yeah. Unironically, that I think is probably my biggest issue with this documentary is like you contrast like Phil Fish's like breakdown about his ex-business partner being at, you know, one of the largest gaming conventions in the world. Like, oh, how could he? And then you compare it to like to the guys from
Tommy and Edmund.
Yeah, Tommy and then the Valhalla guys who are just like, oh yeah, we didn't have electricity for 7 hours of the day when we were developing this, and there'd be like gang wars in our neighborhood twice a week. That's the kind of thing I have an issue with this, which is it's so quaint to look back at this and be like, oh, we're artists.
Yeah.
And then this like, I don't know, man. This whole like I'm glad this is starting to go away now, but this like perception that was very rife during this and after this, where it was like, oh, indie games were invented in 2012, is very obnoxious, especially as someone who's not American. You know, the British home computer revolution, 1980 all the way to 1995, like Manic Miner and not Elite and.
Man, if
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
To think that you could have been at a Penny Arcade Expo, you could be within like a foot of Phil Fish playing his game and giving him live feedback. And he just had to be like, yup.
Standing there with his red...
Oh, yeah, here it is. Here it is. It's buggy. It's buggy. It's bugging out. No, everything's ruined. That would be I would hate that.
Oh, poor Phil. Poor Phil. Oh, dude, Chessex.
Wait, what?
The Chessex, the dice company.
Oh, Chessex, yes,
yeah,
yes,
right there,
yes,
right there. They were there.
Yo, X-Play bag, dude.
Dude, real shooter. Oh
God!
Oh my God, Phil. Oh, you can't do that, buddy.
Yeah. Still, yeah, I mean, like, this shit's stressful, but, like, oh, man.
Like, you can't just take it out on your fucking assistant.
Yeah, like, the people that are, like, yeah.
It's not their fault that the game is bugged.
Oh, man.
It's rough, but, like...
Yeah, This is like cringy in, like, the classical sense.
Yeah.
And, like,
comedy of errors kind of way, yeah.
I would just, like, hate to be in this position. Oh my God, the flip cameras. Yes, dude.
Oh God, we have to go back.
We have to
return to tradition, but only for digital cameras.
Anyway, they're fucked.
Yeah. Anyway,
Back
that
to-
little game never went anywhere.
Back to Meat Boy. There's the Danny B cameo. Only took 8 hours.
Shout out to Margaret. Play Fable 3!
Ha! He totally said this, by the way.
Yeah, this is definitely a real conversation.
I wonder how much Isaac's is sold. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
gonna look like
God,
Binding of Isaac
that's
sales numbers right now.
That's crazy, you know. He's freaking out over 10k sales, and it's like Binding of Isaac is like one of the most important games ever made.
Binding of Isaac sales.
It sure is, Ed.
By November of 2012, so this is before even Rebirth, the original Flats Isaac sold 1 mil.
Jesus.
Rebirth in 2015 sold 5 million.
Jesus.
Alright, I'm reading 14 mil for Isaac.
Good
That is
for you,
insane.
Ed. Jesus. At least there was a good ending to all this stuff. I mean, I suppose it worked out fine for all of them, because I mean, fucking Phil Fish isn't home. so it's gotta
Dude,
be
Star Wars The Old
okay.
Republic.
Oh my gosh.
The
Gears
Titanic,
of
dude.
War.
Yo, nice chucks.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a buggy piece of shit, and it constantly crashes. I have to keep restarting it, but people like it when they get to play it.
Yeah.
Do you get to wear the hat when you play it? Or
He
is that guy just like the world's first Fez fan?
Yeah, God's strongest Fez shooter. Actually, I just noticed, by the way, that the booth is a Fez, and you stand beneath the Fez while you're playing it.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's cute.
So yeah, Phil is making you wear the Fez. The Fez stays on while you're playing Phil's masterwork.
I see. Are those people wearing the traffic cones because of Plants vs Zombies? You think?
Yes, I think
That would make
I
sense.
did say one of them. So I did see Plants vs Zombies on one of them.
These guys don't know they're talking to Phil Fish.
Yeah. Photos taken moments before disaster.
It's Phil Fish in his natural habitat,
Yeah.
undisturbed. He's the only guy with the hat. I think he just
Thriving.
had the hat.
He's just a Fez shooter.
Oh, that's Tycho. I don't know his actual name. Thank you, Jerry. Yeah, Jerry Holkins.
There you go.
I think I actually saw him at PAX, I'm pretty sure, one year, just like walking around. I was like,
I mean, you
I
would.
think that's him. It could just be like a bald like fat guy, but like I'm pretty sure it was him.
In Boston, Massachusetts.
Well, I mean, it was at the expo, but
Yeah.
you know, it could have been anyone, right? But I'm pretty
A
sure it
bald-
was him.
A bald white guy with glasses at a gaming convention in Boston. You
Yeah.
guessed.
Unthinkable, right? It had to have been him.
Yeah.
Back
Remember
when
Facebook was a bigger
Facebook-
deal than Twitter.
Yeah, back when
Jeez.
Facebook likes gave a fuck, like anyone cared.
It's been before like Reddit was a big deal. I mean, Reddit was probably booming at this point, like starting to get big.
Yeah, it was.
This wasn't like at its height, but this would have been when it was starting to get big.
Yeah.
YouTube.
There ain't no point to the game, though.
Ain't no point to the game.
Oh, hey, Giant Bomb. I was like, isn't that
Giant
like
Bomb,
Brad?
yay.
Isn't that Shoemaker? It was, yeah. There we go.
Photos taken moments before disaster.
We got our Giant Bomb cameos.
Don't worry, Phil. You've still got a few more years before you take one L and decide to ruin your entire career.
If this game was made like, or if this documentary was made like 2 years later, there would for sure be like a Northern Lion clip in this. Which is funny to think about.
That's crazy. And it would have been fucking old.
It would have been old and
like,
hello,
like
pre-face cam.
I love video games.
Yeah, where he like recorded his like videos on with the laptop lying on his stomach in his bed, so he sounded all nasally.
God.
We mogged him.
Yo, mog blow.
don't tell John we said this.
He's gonna fucking stare at the wall and sit in a chair in the middle of a dark room.
It's not that it didn't sell great. It's that they sold a little better, which there's nothing wrong with that, but they're
not selling the game better.
Yeah.
It's the
Aww.
Aww. Oh my god, I saw her. What's his face? 8-Bit Ryan.
8-Bit Ryan, wow.
Yeah, wow. Speaking of ghosts, actually, I think he's still going.
Jesus. This is so classic.
Oh god. What a time.
Fuck yeah.
Tails 86, where do you think he is now?
I don't know.
Yay, Giant Bomb! They're always gonna have a good relationship.
I mean, everything will work out. They totally.
I mean, Edmund McMillen doesn't have any problems with Giant Bomb.
Wait, is there a drama between Giant Bomb and Tommy?
No. It's between Giant Bomb and Phil Fish.
Oh right.
I was like, everything was fine between Edmund and that, but it was just, Phil Fish is the one.
It's Ryan, isn't it? It's not Jeff. Oh, Tom. Oh, I thought we were watching the Giant Bomb reviews GameSpot.
Yeah. What a concept.
Just calling them video reviews is so old.
Yeah, that's so like, oh, we're gonna differentiate them. Oh. It certainly is the best aged part of this documentary.
Yeah. Except for the blackface.
I mean, you know, sorry, Ed. I don't make the rules, bud.
Some crimes can
Truth is, kid, the game was rigged from the start.
Fallout New Vegas did come out same day as was it New Vegas with Meat Boy? Yeah. That was when that happened. Jesus.
The passage of time is cruel and daunting. Oh god, hang on. I should know this one. I'm supposed to be a guther.
Yeah, what the hell? Jonathan Blow hasn't been in this movie for a while. I'm just realizing.
Yeah. It's weird that he's like one of the headliners, isn't he?
I guess there just like isn't really a lot to talk about with him because his game it's already out.
Wasn't even really. I don't even think Witness would have been in the dome yet. G4?
Yeah, I don't know if a Witness was being made yet. I think it was though, because it had like a really like long dev time. That was like the meme, right? And it came out like 2016, I want to say. And like honestly, like 4 years for an indie game is not really unthinkable these days.
Yeah.
But maybe that was a lot back then. Yeah, G4. That's Jesus. I mean that one girl had like the little X-Play goodie bag, which is probably the worst aged part of this documentary, actually.
It is pretty crazy. The thing about this documentary being so like the Blu-ray like that I'm watching is like so. It's like so high res that it's like it looks like great as like a print, and then like you get jump scared by like, oh god, 2012, oh god, 2010, Jesus. Oh god, the old Facebook.
We're learning a lot about Phil Fish in this one part. He's saying a lot more than he's actually saying in this part.
Yeah.
Seems boring. Gimmick. Wasted. If they want the real comments, they needed to go to the 4chan threads. They wanted the real crazy shit.
Show the V threads, Phil. We know you were in them.
You got some fucking crazy stuff in those.
Yeah. Killing myself.
Oh yeah, I mean the game's not out.
MSI's old logo, Jesus.
Well, that didn't necessarily end up happening. This is not a good fit. This is like indie dev, 2010s indie dev, fit. Like the pretentious indie dev.
Scarf indoors. Oh god.
Those two are on such bad terms. They're like Phil's like publishing guy needed to meet with him. I am interested in that story. I wonder if it's like juicy or if it's just like kind of boring drama.
I feel as if it's just gonna be boring. It's gonna be he probably put like a bunch of hours in developing it, and he feels as if he's entitled to the royalties, and because Phil's got a problem with his ego, he probably thinks that's the worst thing to ever happen.
We got a cave story mention this documentary, by the way. Time to cave story at like hour 29 or whatever.
Yeah. It'd been nice to know a little bit more about that. There's an indie developer I'd like to have a documentary made about.
Well, I mean, you're not not gonna get that.
He probably wouldn't.
There is when Cave Story was coming on WiiWare, there was a thing Nicholas did where it's really funny. I use clips of it in my Cave Story like Nicholas video, but it's Tyrone like walking through like some Japanese neighborhoods and meeting up with Pixel, and he's just talking about the game. It's only like 10 minutes long, but it's pretty interesting. The thing is with Pixel is that like as like well revered as Cave Story is, and I'm sure he's like aware of how like well loved it is, it seems like he sort of just like, I finished it and now I've moved on.
Yeah.
which is
it's very much like
it's very different from I think a lot of mindsets.
Yeah, I think he would probably fucking hate to have a docket. We're like, dude, you made a video game. You're a genius. How did you do it?
Yeah, and he's like, well, I mean, it was a game I made. It was pretty cool, and people liked it, so I went and made another one. Of course, Carol Blaster. He hasn't made anything since Carol Blaster, so.
What I'd like to see is another one of these. If there was ever going to be an indie game, the movie sequel, Dream Team would be Toby Fox, obviously.
Oh, sure.
Secondly would be the guy who made Yume Nikki, who I hope is still alive. Last I heard, he's not actually dead.
Yes, I believe
that was the popular theory. But
that's the
Yume Dev is still alive.
Take right now. I think I think one, it's been so long. I feel like the ship has sailed, but like this was a really novel and cool idea of like making like a professional documentary about like indie games, right? That was like kind of interesting. But nowadays you can get like stuff like professionally made like this. You can just watch them for free on YouTube, like with no clip. Like no clips are basically these. So it's kind of like evolved past the need for an indie game, the movie too, almost.
That is definitely a good point. And I think this attitude about this is what video games are is gone, which is I'm extraordinarily thankful for.
It has in some ways,
just to make it clear. I cannot stand this perception of like the indie as someone who cares about indie games more than like anything else in gaming, because like most gaming sucks these days. The indie space is probably the best justification for gaming as an art form going right now.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this perception of game developers being like, not that like necessarily Edmund or well, I mean Phil Fish definitely did something wrong, but John Blow, not that they necessarily are like arch evil people, right? But definitely not Edmund or Tommy, but like this perception of it being like this auteur, like oh, we're all like cottagecore artists, bohemians, instead of it being like you can do it. That's what I think makes indie gaming beautiful, is you right now listening to this.
There
you
is
can
a
just
sort
go
of
down Godot and get to work.
It's
That's what indie gaming
the thing
should
is
be.
that it's never been easier too, right? Because like it was kind of easier for people to buy into like the sort of like bohemian indie dev
guy,
artist guy, because it was so hard to the tools to make a video game just weren't really as robust as they are right now over Mill. Jesus, that's just Meat Boy. So it's a lot more accessible than it was. Oh, here's John again. Oh, I think he's talking about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
A poignant message from John Blow in this documentary?
Yeah. Oh.
Adopt, don't shop. Adopt a house.
Adopt a house.
Yeah.
Oh. Shots taken, photographs taken moments before
disaster.
triumph.
Yeah. It is. He has
listen, he got it out.
Did he get it out in 2012?
I don't think Witness came out in 2012, didn't it?
Gumshoe, The Witness came out in 2016.
Jesus. Okay. I was like, that can't be right. I was definitely like not in high school when The Witness came out.
Yeah. I am very curious if there was ever a plan for an indie game, the movie too.
Like a follow-up or something. The boat definitely sailed real quick is the problem, because you just can't make Phil Fish was like a fucking rod of uranium not too long after this came out. And I mean, I know the water sort of not as boiling as much as it used to be these days, but he's still very much like he's so unprofessional and so like difficult to work with that people Oh, there you go. Was asked not to participate in this movie.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you got to I don't know, this jeez, I don't know where I was even going. I just got fucking sidetracked by looking at that game. Cannibal.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. I guess the special edition has stuff from Derek Yu.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, he's definitely not as like dead weight as like he was for a while, but I still don't think. I think Phil Fish is just on partially nowhere near as important as he used to be, and he's like too much of a rod of uranium these days to.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's by
for you to make a
choice, right? Like, because you can say a lot about Phil Fish, but he said I'm leaving, and he did.
Yeah.
Oh, is this Antechamber? Yeah, it's Antechamber. All right, so I actually looked this up. There is, in 2016, a movie called Indie Game Life After, and it's directed by the same people. And I guess it's like a bunch of vignettes. So we might have to check that out at some point. But all right, Gumshoe, what'd you think? What'd you think of Indie Game the movie in the year of our Lord 2025?
It's certainly not as intolerable as it was in my memory, but it still had some pretty intolerable parts in it. Like it's not. I guess like the hatchet is buried a lot these days in terms of like we said, Phil Fish is the karmic debt is paid. Phil Fish is gone.
The radiation is gone, and the nature has begun to regrow in this caustic wasteland. Yeah.
So there's definitely parts of it that are just as embarrassing. That part, like, I don't know what they were thinking with that part with Jonathan Blow and the soldier. It's edited like it's a joke, which is weird if you're trying to take it sincerely.
Exactly, I agree. Yeah.
Phil Fish's stuff is very funny in retrospect, given his the person he turned into and the stuff that happened.
Yeah.
But it's not nearly as bad as it was in my memory. I'll say that much for it. And all the stuff with Edmund McMillan does obviously just still beautifully.
That was still the high point.
Wonderful.
Same with
great stuff.
Tommy too.
Yeah.
It just not as much Jonathan Blow. I guess he's like
less of it than I thought.
He's probably only in like I think like 20 total minutes, which is kind of weird to think about. But
it stands out so much in your head that he was
like,
oh yeah, he's in this film, isn't he?
I guess it's only fair that he gets the most iconic scene in the movie. It's like the actor who's only in the movie for 5 minutes, but he has like the show-stopping scene, so everyone remembers him.
Yeah.
Jeez, that old iPhone, Jesus.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty funny how much like how given that mobile gaming turned into a fucking nightmare that you can't wake up from, how much they were like, oh man, check out this new frontier of mobile gaming.
It's all going mobile, baby. Which is
this is what every video game should be like.
Hilariously, I'm pretty sure that is what Tommy ended up doing with Meat Boy, because with Super Meat Boy Forever. Liam O'Brien. That can't be it. Danny O'Dwyer. Hey.
Oh shit! No shit.
I think these are like Kickstarter backers. Yeah. That's interesting. RA3V. I read that as Rev 3. I was like, oh no.
Oh, no.
Nick Robinson. Oh, problematic fave. Nick Robinson. You think that's the same one? I think it is.
That's for them to know and for you to find out.
That's right. I don't know. Fuck, was Polygon around yet?
Maybe.
I didn't see it in any of like the
the
B-roll, you know.
Like this feels very like not yet sort of thing.
Yeah, Kotaku wasn't even in this, I don't think.
Yeah. Kotaku would have been around for this. I think Polygon's a lot more like recent. Like they would have been like 2014 or 15 or something when
Maybe,
they
yeah.
picked up Dragonfish games. This is probably a horrible thing to say, but I like other than Cannibalt, I have like all of these games are just like background radiation.
It is.
Never heard of any of them.
It's kind of the drawback or the double-edged sword to what we were talking about earlier about how it's never been easier to make a game. Is like even back then, Xenonauts, I actually have heard of Xenonauts.
Xenonauts is a big deal.
But like it's never been easier to make a game, but it's also harder than ever to get fucking noticed.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays. When they're talking, like Phil Fish is talking about, like, well, I gotta post the thing on Twitter to get noticed. It's like, yes, Phil, you do. In fact, if you don't post your thing on Twitter and you don't get noticed, you get fucked.
Yeah. That is
you sure as fuck can't rely on Xbox Live showing you on the front page. Because it's all just AI slop now.
The worst age aspect of this documentary is definitely the, like, complaining about, like, oh, I have a contract with Microsoft to put me on the front page of XBL. Like, yeah, that must have been nice.
Well, it was I need the game out way before I was ready to, so I crunched my ass off to get the game out, and then they didn't even fucking put it on the front page when they said they were gonna. That was the sticking point.
That's definitely like a fair criticism to make of, like, especially if Microsoft, which I don't doubt for a second that they fucked up, because they're the professionals of fucking things up and ruining things for people. Mm-hmm. But like, that's a shitty part of it, to be like, it's reasonable to be upset that you like basically kamikazed your physical and mental health for a month straight to finish something, and then Microsoft's just like, the guy didn't show up to the office today, so we didn't do it.
It's like you are ants to us.
Yeah. We just decided we weren't gonna do it today. Sorry, kiddo. Fuck you.
In a way, it's almost the best aged part of the movie.
Yeah.
But alright. Thank you, everyone, for watching Indie Game the movie. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best. You're the best. What should we watch next? We are not taking suggestions.
We'll be watching various clips from God, what was Tommy Tallarico's show? Video Playground.
Electric Playground. Or Judgment Day, I think, also was his show.
Speaking of well-aged things,
Electric Playground is actually in the credits of this. I think they took footage from something, so they got credited.
There's a great little drinking game for the audience, is watching Electric Playground episodes and drinking every time Tommy tells a lie.
Tommy Tells a Liar has a bad take on a classic video game, yeah. All right. But thank you, everyone. And we'll see you next time if I ever decide to do this again.
If we ever decide to do one of these, it seems to be the style of these commentaries.
This is fun.
But, it was fun. Definitely great that this movie didn't end up being as terrible as I remembered it being, so it's got that going for it. Anyway, off to great things.